Well, good morning, fellow humans. It's been a little bit since I've sent a video out. Um, I'm not going to apologize for that. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure this out. And to be honest, the world is kind of a crazy place right now, and these kinds of communications can be difficult. Because I want to be telling the truth. I want to share the reality of life in this time and what it's like to experience it. Um, 2025 is coming to a close. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to at least send a little bit of a message out. This, as I've said before, this is kind of a exercise in the absurd in some ways. Um, yeah, but I want to continue with this project, and like I've alluded to a number of times, there are other aspects to the project that I want to move forward, especially in the coming year. I think 2025 is kind of been a watershed year for the world. It is, in a lot of ways, whether you agree with it or not, the um, culmination of a lot of storylines happened in 2025. A lot of things have passed into the gray havens, as it were. The kind of socio-political power base of the world, the post World War II power equilibrium, whatever you want to call it, in our globe, of our world, of our species, is now different. And 2025, I think, will be considered kind of a watershed. Like I said, a culmination of storylines. Um, the enemy, fascism, white Christian nationalism, etc., has gained a lot of ground this year. It is their big high watermark in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's the high water mark for neo-Confederates. It just is. 2025 has been really tough on democratic, free-speaking, free-thinking people. It has been a real difficulty for those individuals like me who have a visceral commitment to the Constitution and the principles which created it. And it's been really tested this last year in a systematic way. Like I have alluded to in the past, this year has been, Confederates have won quite a few battles, especially in this past 8 years. Yeah. And so at the end of 2025, I find myself feeling very circumspect and melancholic in a lot of ways. The holidays tend to be a difficult time for me anyway, for various personal reasons. Always have. It really gets back to kind of my journey through life and what my relationship with humanity and the holidays, etc., have created. I'm not going to apologize for who I am or how I feel. My journey through life has been unique, just like yours. The reality, of course, is that I like to say and think, and it gives me comfort to say that we are the universe trying to experience itself. That gives context into kind of some of the existentialism or the absurdity of life. and the absurdism that you wind up having to balance when you are truly honest, when you set the truth of life free, and you look in the mirror and you're honest with yourself about your misgivings, about who you are, about your proclivities, about the kind of ways that you are as a Homo sapien, as a human broken. Um, it can be difficult to kind of generate, for lack of a better word, to generate hope and meaning in an absurd world. And especially for those who really kind of explore the idea of absurdism as a philosophy, as an understanding of life. It can be really challenging, the holidays. But it can also be rich with meaning and rich with payoff, payoff. Um, as a child, I was never afforded kind of a lot of the illusions that many in the 21st century, that many of my generation, but also the previous or the new generations have come to expect on this time of year. The older I get, the more anachronistic I think my worldview feels, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm sharing, or at least trying to share, kind of a glimpse into me, a glimpse into how it is to be alive during this time. And 2025, the holiday season of 2025, is kind of a rich gumbo of emotions, of despair, of hope, of determination, of grim determination, of the understanding that the price has to be paid for, that the blood of that the tree of freedom has to be watered with the blood of patriots, and that blood is not always physical. That's not to denigrate those individuals who give the last full measure of their devotion. That is a level of gift and commitment that I have not been asked for in my life, and I hope and I pray that, yes, as an agnostic, I pray that that the time for joy is there's still room for joy, that there's still room for togetherness and forgiveness, and the holiday season is a good thing. This year, a lot of people are beginning to experience the consequences of the choices of their worldview, both for good and for bad. For good in that, certain individuals, we need to kind of take comfort where we can get it. And this holiday season, regardless of who you are, I think the important part is to remember that you are, one, not alone, and you are living through a shared experience, and that shared experience, of course, is colored by who we as individuals are, by how we view the world, by the things that give us comfort, the things that give us challenge. But you're not alone, and I am speaking to myself as much as anyone. I have a very blessed life. I am blessed beyond my worth, is what I like to say. And that phrase is not to be denigrating of myself. In fact, it's a very self-aware phrase for me. But this last year, 2025, has been both the most pivotal point, or some of the most pivotal points in my life, but also some of the most kind of emotionally and personally and spiritually challenging. And that's a shared experience. And the only way that funny the only way that the only thing that gives me comfort in some ways is self-expression, and the scariest thing is self-expression, especially in today's day and age, where self-expression, you may wind up paying for it in dearest of ways. You may wind up paying for being true to yourself or being open and honest in ways that are hard to reconcile, that are hard to pay for. But regardless, we have to do it. We have to go through this. We have to live through this moment. We have to decide and determine who each of us individually is, and how committed we are to the social contract that is a self-governing democracy, but also that we as people are the kind of people that we want to be, and that's kind of the crux of this message, I think, today, is that I'm getting older, and the world is accelerating. We talk a lot about generational politics and generational language as being, but just like our forefathers. I mean, it's a trope to say, these damn young people don't know X, or they don't know Y, or etc. That's a normal thing, but I think because of our relationship, because of the kind of changes that we have wrought in our world, there are unique challenges that we as people today are facing. There are decisions that are both the oldest decisions in the newest of ways. The fact is that our ancestors, and what I mean by ancestors is getting shorter and shorter, a reference to the aforementioned kind of life cycle or generational life cycle. If you think of a generation as being kind of a group, a group of Homo sapiens that kind of relate in a specific way, or have a specific kind of a temporal identity, those cycles are shorter and shorter and shorter. And the way that we talk about them is more and more defined, more powerful. Gen X, Gen Z, baby boomers, Gen Alpha, generation blah, blah, blah. It's a way for us to kind of try to deal with, I think, globally, the kind of iterative process of generation that continues to accelerate. That kind of creation of self-identity, generational identity, just keeps getting faster and faster. And so the reality is that we have kind of real challenges, just like our ancestors did, but in a different way, where we need to learn how to communicate, and we need to kind of be respectful of people, and that we don't understand, that we can't understand, that we don't have the language to understand. But the reality is that the world has changed, and we as a species need to find a way forward. And during this holiday season, from a social standpoint, we still have kind of this construct where we bring all of our generations together during the holidays, and we create this kind of a socio-economic, emotional, spiritual touch point to kind of share, and also to feel isolated. A lot of people's experiences with the holidays are very isolating, very isolating. Both from a physical standpoint, there are people that There are people in the world that suffer alone. There are people that enjoy or have enjoyment alone. There are people that make do with being alone. And sometimes you're alone in a crowd full of people. I've seen that kind of ache of loneliness in the eyes of people that you would not expect, that are either gregarious or have been giving a certain kind of status in life where they bring people together or they aggregate. They're never alone. People think that there's kind of social worth. They have agency, but they are alone. And for those of us with kind of a more intimate relationship with death and the loathsome valley and hardships, etc., we all understand. Just like one of my dearest friends. Side note: you don't really understand what disenfranchisement means unless you've seen it and you understand it from the eyes and the experiences of a black woman, of black people in general, but most specifically black females. I think they are probably, you could argue from a historical standpoint, from social, cultural, whatever, from any standpoint, black females represent probably one of the most disenfranchised groups of Homo sapiens historically and contemporarily ever. Ever. And it's ironic, it really is. There's some real spiritual connotations to what I just said. A rejection of mother, a rejection of... It's hard to sometimes look in the eyes of someone that you know has suffered in ways that you cannot fathom. And there's a certain degree of shaming. That's the wrong word. There's a certain degree of maybe shame is the right word. I don't know. I'm familiar with some pretty deep places of despair, but I am almost positive. I know that I haven't experienced what it's like to be a black woman in the contemporary space, but also just one generation earlier, or two generations earlier, or anywhere in history. Anyway, I'm not sure where I'm going with that, other than kind of that's in some ways that's kind of our species baseline of disenfranchisement, and it's hard to get up and to move forward. Myself, it's hard, much less my experience being somewhat being privileged in a lot of ways. That doesn't mean that I've had an easy life. That's not the case. It doesn't mean that I haven't been challenged. That's not the case. But pain is like effort. It cannot be externally compared. That's one of the things that I have learned in my travels and in my kind of my trainings, my upbringing. Has given me certain types of tools to see and to I think that my message that I want to convey during this holiday season in 2025 is we will win, we shall overcome. A lot of times people like to say that there are no atheists in the foxholes. Personally, I find that a bit repugnant of a statement. Well, it's at least self-serving. There is truth to that, but in a way that is not the way that it's generally not used. At the end of the day, we have each other, and we have ourselves, and that's it. And when you close the visor, you're alone. When you face that lonesome valley, you're alone. When you are in a room of people and you are confronted by these crises of internal life, of internal struggle, I get it. We are alone. We have each other and we have ourselves. But at the end of the day, we as individuals have to make choices. And those choices, a lot of times, none of them are good. It's not Disney. There's no kind of Kobayashi Maru here. There's no getting out of this. There's no getting out of the experience of being you. But also that has beauty. Darkness has beauty. Melancholy has beauty. The valley has worth and beauty. And embracing that suffering sometimes is a way to embrace joy, embracing the experience of the sadness that you may be experiencing during this holiday season. You are alone, but you're not. It's a shared experience, and I just want to thank you, whoever you are, whatever you are, whenever, if anyone, I mean, again, like I've always said with this channel or with this mode of communication, I'm talking to the abstract. There's really no one that's actually listening to this, and that's okay. If no one ever does, it's my energy going out into the world as a gift. Whether that gift is seen or felt, it winds up going into the coal bed of humanity. And so it's a gift that I try to give. And that gift is a gift of self-realization, of understanding that we're all broken. We're all unworthy, but we're also inestimably worthy at the same time. We are unique people. We are unique constructs of divinity, of the cosmos. We are unique expressions. And those expressions sometimes are sad and are challenged and have despair. And sometimes these expressions that we are alone and moored to reality by the anchor of our sadness. But that also creates strength, and it also creates constancy, and it also fosters determination and a choice. Because at the end of the day, it's a choice. You can't dispel despair. You can't get rid of fear. Those of us who know fear know that it is constant. It's a constant. You can't get rid of it, and you can't cover it up. But you can negotiate with it, and it can become a function of your strength. Because at the end of the day, it's a choice. And sometimes people, like I said, there's no good choices sometimes. I think that having a discussion about the existence of free will is a big topic, and I think in 2026 I would like to kind of explore some of that. But right now, I think what I'm trying to say is that no matter who you are or where you are in life or what level of despair you are currently experiencing, What it's gonna be okay. That doesn't mean that we won't wind up with scars. That doesn't mean that not all of us are gonna make it to 2026. That doesn't mean that some of our deeply held and precious things are not going to continue to exist. Um, this year has been a very challenging one from my perspective because some of the bedrock things of our society, the bedrock assumptions of what it is to be a good person, of what it is to be an American, of what it is to be, a good person have been challenged in a systemic way, in a forceful way by individuals who believe in some ways, some of them believe they're doing the right thing. You can call that delusional. You can call that cult-like behavior. You know, there's a lot of kind of labels that you can put on those things, but at the end of the day, those are our fellow brothers and sisters. And sometimes you got to put them down, and sometimes you got to lift them up. Sometimes you got to cheer for Nuremberg 2.0, and sometimes you got to compassionately dispense justice. My hope for 2026 is that it will be a year of reconciliation. But in order to reconcile together, we have to be honest with ourselves and honest with each other. Because it's not, it is no longer a viable excuse to say that you don't have time to be engaged in your culture and your species and the direction of your species. It's no longer viable to say that, well, I'm just not that kind of a person, or I'm not good at X, I'm not good at analytical thinking, I don't know how to read at a high level, I don't know how to think, I don't know how to critically think, I just believe what I believe, etc. You can't hide behind those things anymore. Because of the tools and the bringing together, the fulfillment of our Tower of Babel. This gets really deep really fast, and I'm 27 minutes into this, but we really are, with our technology, with the tools that we are creating, with our applied sciences and our applied humanities, we are creating a virtualized Tower of Babel where together we have the tools to communicate in ways that were literally dreams even 5 years ago. Some of the advances that we have made with these scary technologies also bring us together in a fundamental way. We're building the Tower of Babel right now, this way. As a species, that's scary, and it challenges the old gods, and it makes them anxious, and it makes them itchy to tear us down as a species, to tear us down as humans, to tear us down and to make us fearful of who we are and our capabilities. There is comfort in the old-time ways, or at least what we perceive the old-time ways to be. And as an amateur historian, I can tell you that your ideas, any historian, anyone with a certain degree of education and curiosity and openness understands that we as a species, the only way forward is for us to learn how to build a bigger tribe than we are evolutionarily, emotionally, and spiritually capable of right now. to be accepting of those individuals just because they are human, even when we don't understand them, even when the things are objectively repugnant to us. We still need to be able to have compassion when we pull the lever, when we dispense justice. Because there but by the grace of God go I. And I don't believe in God, or at least rather I'm an agnostic. I don't necessarily believe in your God, and I don't think that a God, the vision of a God that is based upon a human perception and a finite manner, it's the picture of the infinite cannot be created by the mind of a finite individual. We can build snapshots and insights, but anyway, by definition, the vision that you perceive as being tied to that word God is flawed by definition. Mine is too. I just choose to be honest about it, which is why I call myself agnostic. That and a million other reasons. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Point is, you're not alone and you are alone. And what I would challenge you and myself in this Christmas season, in this holiday season, in this time of togetherness and love and challenge and stress, is that experience what you're experiencing. Fully embrace and engage in your dark times or your beautiful times of celebration. Experience those things to their fullest, and then make the choice. Make the choice that you're going to keep moving forward, that you're going to keep investing in us, in yourself, in humanity, that you're going to keep getting up out of bed and looking for a job, that you're going to keep getting up and continuing to engage and continuing to try to create community, because we need to learn and find new ways to build community, because we as a species need that. But the way that we approach it has to be different now. So we need to choose to embrace change and fear, with an understanding that that embrace may be that we are embracing our own demise. That's the choice. It's a better one to make than to opt out. It just is. It's disingenuous to opt out. It's disingenuous to do that, and it's difficult. It's really tough. I feel like, especially in 2025, personally, I've been really challenged in ways that are difficult to, even for me, to look at myself in the mirror and deal with. And but that's it. I choose to, in the face of my own inadequacies, I choose a path forward that I don't understand and may lead to my own demise and may lead to all of these other things. I can only take ownership of the choice that is in front of me. And sometimes that choice is, you know what, I'm by myself on the holidays, and I'm gonna keep putting my Charlie Brown Christmas tree up, and I'm gonna keep thinking about adding my own expression to the world in a positive way. And I'm going to make that choice. And regardless, even if you feel alone and the despair is so thick around you that you can't see a foot past your face, I've been there. It's not easy. And I'm not going to give you platitudes. I'm not going to. That's disrespectful of the journey that some of us are going through right now. But I will say that we have a choice to make. And then when that choice gets down, when you are down to the point where the only thing left is that you're stubborn, so be it. When everything in the world, and including the mirror, looks back at you and in a factual way, you can't get around the fact that you are inadequate in whatever way that the demons inside, internally or externally, are telling you. There's a choice, and that choice is to embrace it. To embrace the reality of who you are. To embrace with compassion that image in the mirror. And to make a choice. To keep moving forward. To keep expressing. To keep being engaged. Because that's when our enemies win, is when we give up. And we just can't. You're too precious. I'm too precious. Your silliness and your pain and the lilt of your voice and you are precious. Just remember that. So, happy holidays. And I'm going to make that choice too. And together, we're going to set the truth of who we are free, regardless of whether that challenges other people's perception of reality or not. That's their choice. Our choice is to be. So let's keep making that choice, together and alone. Happy holidays. I love you.